Alright guys, welcome to another video. This is my go-to mastering chain for pretty much any mix. This works for any mix that's super heavy. And this one I have a cover by Miss May I. It's Bleed Together. I covered this, produced it, everything myself. It's just the instrumental, no vocals. And here's what it sounds like. Alright, so now let's get into the mastering chain. So right here starts my mastering chain. What I do first is I add a bus compressor. And by the way, it doesn't matter what bus compressor you use. You don't have to copy the exact plugins. As long as you follow the fundamentals that I am showing you in the tools, that's all that matters here. Okay, so the bus compressor, I just have it at a slow attack, about a 2 ratio, a fast release, and then I'm just pulling back the threshold just so that needle is hovering. Okay, and then I'm adding just a little bit of makeup gain, not too much. That just helps glue the mix all together for the very last time after your mix. Next, what I do is I add a EQ. So when I'm EQing, what I'm doing is I'm analyzing my reference track, which is the original, and I'm trying to get my cover to sound close to it. So I'm going to be listening to the EQ of the original reference track and trying to match to my mix the EQ and tone as best as I possibly can. And I'll give you a quick A and B of what this sounds like. As you can hear, it's just cleaning it up more, adding some more tonal elements to it just to make the mix sound a bit better. Next, I add a stereo imager. And this is the Ozone stereo imager. It's free. You can go and use it yourself. And I'm just dialing in the width by just a few percents. That just helps to widen up the mix a little bit easier, have it cut through and be competitive against all of the other modern mixes that your mix will be next to in playlists and things like that. Next, what I use is Max Bass. I absolutely love this plugin. It makes it so the bass can really be heard on any type of speaker. Because what this does, it basically takes the very, very low frequencies from like 16 to 128 that can't really be heard necessarily on laptop or phone speakers, and it pushes that up into more of the lower mids. So it gives a lot more harmonics as well. And this is what it sounds like A and B. And if you're listening on a phone or something that doesn't have a lot of low end, you are probably going to be able to tell a big difference with this. Last thing I have here is OTT. You can really overdo OTT. So what I did is I just put the depth on around 12, and I had upward compression around 120% and then downward compression at 200%. I didn't mess with any of the high, mids, or lows on here, and this is what it sounds like A and B. It really just gives that last aggressive element to it, kind of like gives the balls of the track. Like if you're missing that aggression and everything on your master after your mix, add some OTT and it will liven up your mix so much. Now what I did next is I actually routed out this chain into a separate track that has my limiter on it. So right here, this looks kind of crazy. What I'm doing is I'm setting up a bunch of clips and gain so I can have multiple clips going on, because if I just run it into one clipper, it can make you hit the red way too often. I would rather have a bunch of small moves in gain rather than just one big move in gain. So right here, I'm just using a free gain plugin and I'm just upping it up by 12 dB, and I'll kind of show you like how the track gets louder as we add these. That first one is just to push the volume just a little bit more, 12 dB. Then I add the first clipper, which is initial clipper. This is also a free VST. Just giving it about 3 more dB of gain. And like I've already said, we're just adding a tiny bit as we go. Then I have my next clipper right here. The initial clipper and free clip, they're both free VSTs, but they do have a slightly different sound and a slightly different way that they introduce gain into your master. So I am using both here, but this isn't really necessary. Just adding 1.5, then I'm adding another 1.5 here. Then I'm adding another 1.2. I'm just being careful to not hit the red too much. Then I'm adding the last one right here. And I do change the clip type as I go. The whole idea for you using your limiters and your clips is just to, it's not really to alter the sound at all. It's really just to make your mix as loud as possible before it hits in the red and actually starts damaging the mix. You don't want to push it so hard that it starts clipping. You want to push it just enough where it's as loud as it possibly can right before it hits the red. And then what I use next to make sure that I'm hitting the correct LUFS. LUFS is the loudness level that you are trying to aim for. So you know if your track is mastered to the correct volume level for streaming platforms. Typically you want to hit around -6 LUFS. Going past like -5, then you're gonna be going into the red territory, which makes your song sound squish and clipping. Having it around 6 makes it super loud compared to all the other songs in the playlist, but it doesn't have it so hot that it's clipping. And you'll notice that I'm hitting around -7 LUFS right here, but to get an accurate reading of LUFS, you actually have to start from the beginning, play the entire song, and then you can read your LUFS. Because if you just do it in the short term, you're only going to get that small little pocket of the song. Obviously, I don't want to have you sit here and listen to this whole mix, but if you want to, you can go to my website down in the description below, and you can go to my portfolio section and you can listen to this entire mix yourself. So I hope this helped you clear up any confusion on how to properly set up your mastering chain. This is the #1 way I do it personally right now to make my mixes sound loud, aggressive, and an industry standard so they can be distributed to every single streaming platform with ease. And if you want your masters to sound like mine, but you don't want to go through the trial and error of learning how to do all these things yourself, then I do have mixing, mastering, and producing services that are available for you. And I have a special offer right now. If you're watching this maybe a couple of years from now, it's probably not available. But if you're watching this video right now, you can get your first project with me absolutely for free. It doesn't matter if it's a full album, an EP, a single, it doesn't matter what it is. Your first project is free. So what do you guys use on your mastering chain? I'd love to know down in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video.